Good evening all. I'm Aditi Lamba with the Thursday night edition of South Asian News, Vision of Asia. We are coming to you from our studio in New York City. Welcome to the show. Let's begin the episode taking a look at the coronavirus pandemic and its impact. The world is at 185 million cases of COVID-19 and has now surpassed 4 million deaths. There is a surge being seen in parts of the world because of the spread of the variants of the coronavirus. On that today, Tokyo said that the Olympics, which begins this month, will take place without spectators. This ban comes as Japan has declared a state of emergency in the capital that will run throughout the Games. India is at nearly 31 million COVID-19 cases with at least 405,000 deaths. Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine is expected to reach India this week in hopes to speed up inoculations in world's second most populous nation. Here in the United States, we are at more than 33 million cases of COVID-19 with at least 605,000 deaths. 24 states are seeing an uptick in cases as the Delta variant becomes the dominant strain in the U.S. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky has said 93% of COVID-19 cases in recent days have occurred in areas with low vaccination rates, mainly in the South, Southwest, and Midwest. Remember, you can visit vaccines.gov for more information on COVID-19 vaccines and locations. With that, let's now take a look at headlines coming in on politics, culture, and entertainment. President Biden addresses Afghanistan troops withdrawal by August 31st, veteran journalist Rohit, Vyas, New Jersey. American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin hosts 39th Annual Convention, Atlanta, Georgia. Stillwater crime drama film to be released on July 30th, 2021. It's time for a short break on Vision of Asia South Asian News segment. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Aditi Lamba and this is Vision of Asia Thursday night episode of South Asian News. In politics, today President Joe Biden said that it is up to the Afghan people alone on how they run their country as he announced U.S. military mission in Afghanistan to end on August 31st, despite new concerns about the possibility of a civil war. The president also said that we did not go to Afghanistan to nation build, but said that he still plans to leave more than 600 troops there to provide security for the U.S. embassy. The president stressed on him not wanting to send another generation of Americans to war with no reasonable expectation of achieving a different outcome. According to officials, the withdrawal is already more than 90% complete. On this and much more, we spoke with ITV Gold senior political commentator, veteran journalist Rohit Vyas. Here is Mr. Vyas. On Afghanistan, we keep on hearing a lot of talks on the troops being pulled back, brought here. This has been one of the biggest projects of President Joe Biden as well. How are you looking at it? And when we pull these troops out, what will happen to the region? What will happen to countries around it? How will that be affected?
Yeah, this is actually the most dangerous situation in the history of that part of the world as I see it right now. There were peace talks that were held. There was supposed to be an agreement, behind the scenes agreement with the Taliban to not carry out any bloodshed, etc., in the country once U.S. troops and other foreign troops leave. Now, the moment the U.S. forces have left Bagram Air Base and have left many parts of the northern part of Afghanistan, and actually they're almost all gone now, the U.S. troops, except for those that are going to be protecting the perimeter of the interior of the United States Embassy in Kabul itself. This situation, and you've already seen now the Taliban advancing, seeming absolutely unstoppable. They're out there. You got troops, the Afghan troops who have been trained by the Western forces, well trained, with good arms, retreating and then fleeing. Right now, they're overwhelming the border at Tajikistan. There's also fears they're going to go running away into Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and all the rest of it. And those countries are now in urgent negotiations with one another to figure out what to do at the border and how to set up camps to meet these refugees. I've also noticed the video coming in from Afghanistan, whatever is available right now, that a lot of the women are suddenly donning burqas and all the rest of it, head to toe. Another sign that we're going back to the dark ages of medieval rule, basically, and it's going to be a terrible situation. Countries that will have to watch their own borders at that time will be Pakistan, will be India. Certainly, India doesn't want to be drawn into being a part of anything to do with that country at this time. With Afghanistan, India's dealing with a lot of issues internally itself right now, also dealing with the rest of the world. But that's something that I think. But India, being the major democratic nation in the area, would at some point have to step in to help. But I hope it doesn't drag them into something major. But I'd still say the immediate danger would be to a country like Pakistan, which would have to start to watch what happens at its borders and to make sure the Taliban don't infiltrate. They already have elements of the Taliban in Pakistan. They'd have to be careful that the Afghan Taliban don't just come in and absolutely overrun their territory as well. So the implications are enormous. And from there, the implications are enormous for the rest of the world, because anything happening in that part of the world is certainly going to affect the rest of the world as well.
Directed and written by Tom McCarthy, new crime drama film Stillwater is set to be released by Focus Features this month on July 30th in the United States. The movie had its world premiere today at the famous Cannes Festival in France. Stillwater has been co-written with Marcus Hinchey, Thomas Bidegain, and Noah Debray, and stars Matt Damon, Camille Cottin, and Abigail Breslin. In the film, Matt Damon's character is an oil worker in Oklahoma when he learns that his estranged daughter, played by Abigail Breslin, was being falsely arrested pending trial and is charged with murder. To clear her name, Matt Damon's character must decide just how far he's willing to go. We have tonight an insight into Stillwater featuring Matt Damon and actress Camille Cottin, who plays the role of a French woman with an 8-year-old daughter. Here is the story.
Yeah, and you're also a stranger here.
What did you do?
You just have to trust me.
It's about a man who's trying to repair his relationship with his daughter, and ultimately that's at the center of it. And he goes on this incredible journey, and it's somebody who's uniquely American, a roughneck from Oklahoma, which is a very specific type of guy, and who winds up in France and in Marseille of all places. So I go to Marseille to visit her in prison and kind of take on the task of trying to exonerate her for the crime she's been accused of.
The day you left from Marseille, I drove to the airport. I went to the gift shop and I saw this necklace. It was gold, it said Stillwater on it. I thought it'd be a little piece of home to take with you.
What I like about this role is the modernity of the feminine figure that she embodies, because she's like this monoparental mother, raising up her daughter alone, being an actress. So she's not sacrificing what she likes to motherhood, but at the same time she stands on her 2 feet.
Some folks are born made to weather fly.
You're in Marseille for vacation?
I visited my daughter.
You're the father of the girl, the American student?
Yes, ma'am. Allison came here for college, and that's where she met this girl, Lena. One night she found Lena dead and called the police.
It's the story of this man trying to be the father he's never been, and he's a fish out of water because he arrives in a city, he doesn't speak the language, he doesn't understand the codes, and it's like so different from his universe.
Yeah, and you're also a stranger here.
What did you do?
You just have to trust me.
And it's now time for the short break on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back, I'm Aditi Lama and this is Vision of Asia South Asian news segment. Let's now take a look at more highlights coming in from the second largest medical organization in the nation, the American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, which hosted 39th Annual Convention in Atlanta, Georgia. The association states that 1 in 7 people in the United States at some point are touched by an Indian American physician, emphasizing the role Indian Americans play in healthcare. This 39th Annual Convention was an exciting and enriching blend of professional programs along with social events and exhibits. It features some of the leading South Asian doctors and medical professionals along with several dignitaries from the United States. The 39th Annual Convention highlighted victory of science in combating the pandemic while paying tribute to fallen medical heroes, including some from API itself. On this, we are proud to announce that the 39th Annual Convention of API honored ITV Gold's health expert and a leading doctor from New York City, Dr. Purvi Parekh, who was awarded the Most Distinguished Young Physician of the Year for all her work with COVID-19. Here is the story.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Suresh Reddy, a past president and also trustee of Oak Brook, Illinois. And I'm so excited to be here today with all the senior delegates and my mentors and some of my guides here. It's an amazing event. We are back. We are back with extra power. It's a very difficult convention to be organized, especially after COVID. But we are regrouping, we are back with strength, where our organization takes special importance in this entire COVID season, because doctors all over the world, and especially in the United States, became soldiers overnight without training.
It's nice to see you all, my old friends. And API is really, as Suresh says, that it's a great organization, and we came back post-COVID with the full force. And yesterday, Governor of Uttar Pradesh, who I introduced to her on the banquet hall, she also said after her speech, when I call her and ask her how did she feel about addressing the group of the physician, and she was very happy, very saying lot of praise for the Indian physicians of staying in America. And I think we did a great job donating so much oxygen concentrate through API and so many things, and I think it's a great thing. And really it's nice to meet everyone once a year and keep relations going, and that's only best thing one can do in the life. Thank you.
It's an honor to represent the profession at the American Medical Association this year, as I begin a year as chair of the board of the American Medical Association. And I have very fond memories of how I got to this position, and it's not because of my own effort, but by the effort of those that came before me. I only stand on the shoulders of people like my father and my mother who immigrated to this country and practiced medicine in Flint, Michigan. And it's only because of the achievements that they have reached that I can reach even higher to do something like chairing the board of the American Medical Association. So it's an honor to come home to API to share my thoughts with them today. So thank you.
I've been a member of API for a long time, and I want API to get involved now. I want all of us API members to get involved in doing something for our mother country from where we graduated, got free education. We want to give it back. Even if we can pay some interest, not the principal, that will do a lot of good. For that reason, I'm starting a campaign to have a campaign to stop smoking, to educate people in India to stop smoking, which is the major cause of illness in India, and physicians, being physicians, taking care of patients, prevention is the cure.
Sudhakarji, Sriniji, Sajniji, and our beautiful incoming leaders who will be taking this light and this torch forward. Anupamaji, Raviji, Kusumji. So thank you so much to all of you for your great leadership. And mostly, thank you to all of you. You are really the heroes of this nation. मैं बता रही थी कल कि जब invitation आए आने के लिए तो मैं नहीं कह पाए, मुझे हाँ करना पड़ा, because you are the heroes. There is no possibility of saying no to anything being asked by any doctors these days.
This year has been like no other in the lifetime of this organization. We were tasked with one of the most important and pressing needs that we have faced as an organization: stopping India's COVID catastrophe, the first and the second surge. API took immediate action, wasted no time, and convened over many days and nights brainstorming. As a member of API for many years, I am truly humbled and honored how the community of API came together ever so strong in solidarity and raised over $5 million. I mean, it is the most money API has ever raised for anything, and of course, for our motherland, India.
While I was playing video games and doing teenager stuff, had fond memories of my dad and Dr. Jagan Kakarala, Jagan Uncle as I call him, who's here somewhere today, debating the best plans for this fledgling organization called API. And as I've made lots of friends coming, as a young person, I see kids here in the audience today, but what initially seemed as a social activity in API quickly gained relevance because of its substance. It solidified in my mind the importance of this organization when I was standing on the corner of Wacker Drive in Chicago next to the Sheraton Hotel, and I saw President Bill Clinton's motorcade go by, and he was coming to get dropped off at the Sheraton to address the API convention there. So a sitting president of the United States coming to the API convention is when I knew that this was definitely something of substance and not just socially.
As member of the awards committee this year, it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you the awardees of AAPI Annual Convention 2020 and 21. The first awardee is a Lifetime Achievement Award, which is given to a physician who served the organization 25 or more years in various capacities and made a difference at every stage of the organization. That is Radhe Shyam Agarwal of Pittsburgh. And I was told due to unordinary circumstances he could not be here, and Dr. Ravi Kohli is going to receive the award on his behalf. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the next awardee, the most distinguished service award of API for this year. The recipient is Dr. Suresh C. Gupta.
For every successful man, there is a successful woman. And I have my wife here somewhere for 52 years. Believe it or not, it's been 52 years.
This award from API, especially during a global pandemic when many physicians, including all of you, have gone above and beyond for the call of duty. And sadly, many of whom are not with us today, we'll never forget them. This is the main reason that I had decided to get involved in running 3 of the COVID-19 vaccine trials, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Sanofi. But that's the beauty of being a physician. It's not our jobs, but rather our identity and calling. In fact, on our flight here to Atlanta, my husband and I were both called to help in an in-flight emergency. So a physician's job is never over, even when they're on their weekend off to come to API. Another reason this is humbling is that, as you know, Dr. Ranga said, I've grown up with API. All of you have mentored me. I've been coming to these conferences since I was a young child. And I was even the MSRF treasurer and vice president. I would like to thank all of API and all my mentors who are here today for supporting me as a student and now a doctor. I'd like to thank my parents who have given me the opportunities to become a physician and set the bar quite high for myself and my brother to build off of. I completely agree with Dr. Bobby. We stand on their shoulders. All of you are the giants before us that have allowed us to achieve what we've achieved today. Finally, I'd like to thank my husband, Dan, Daninder Sarao, who has been by my side through my entire medical journey. We actually met in medical school. And in fact, he saw my potential and believed in me before even I saw it myself, and has always pushed me not to settle and to aim for the highest levels. So thank you, all of you, for always being there and always supporting me. And this is a very, very great honor. Thank you very much.
Now I request the Parikh media, Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh.
Next is Dr. Bhavani Srinivasan, Vice Chair.
I feel honored and humbled to receive this award on behalf of all those doctors, dedicated doctors and nurses and volunteers to make these health fairs very successful since 2002. And this honoring this health fairs, Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. King for their non-violence and social justice and community selfless service. Thank you very much for the API Executive Committee for selecting me to receive this award.
With this, we wrap up our show for the night. Please send us your suggestions and get your voices and organization on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on our Facebook handle @itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight from Queens, New York. This is Vision of Asia, and I am Aditi Lamba. Take care and be well.